Not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. So that is a very powerful and inspirational quote to me, and I wanted to start off with this video by sharing that. So hello, surprise, this is a surprise video. I'm doing it very unexpectedly, very raw. I'm actually in my bedroom right now and it's raining outside, and I wanted to make this video specifically for victims of abuse. Any of you who've gone through relationship abuse, physical abuse, even mental and emotional abuse with a partner, with a significant other. I felt really called to do this. And it's a very vulnerable space for me to do this. And I wanted to, of course, do some tarot therapy, get some oracle guidance and confirmation for us and coping through this. So, just a quick little backstory with me. Why am I even qualified to give you any kind of guidance and inspiration, right? Well, growing up, I have gone through multiple cases of abuse, watched my mother go through some abusive relationships growing up. Watched my sisters go through sexual abuse, watched and endured the emotional, mental traumas. Stalkers. My mother had a stalker growing up, and it was pretty serious. And I never thought I would find myself in a vulnerable position where I'd be in an abusive relationship. And a few months ago, I found myself in an abusive relationship. All the red flags were there. But being an empath, being a nurturer, I of course wanted to fix and help the other person, fix and help the relationship, mold it into something healthy, mold it into the love that I wanted it to be. And what I've really come to learn, especially through that experience, is that you can't do that. And if you're having to try so hard with someone in doing that and molding the kind of love that you would like to see for yourself, then it's probably not the best relationship for you. So, my own personal experience is when I had my breakup and falling out, this person came over to my house and physically assaulted me. I threw some eggs at their house because that was me emotionally lashing out, and then they came over and physically assaulted me, beat me up. And it was something. It was an experience that definitely shook me. And there was, like I said, there's so many red flags. But sometimes when you're the victim in an abusive relationship, you overlook the red flags. You see the patterns of narcissism. You see the patterns of mental and emotional abuse, neglect, but you ignore them. And that's what I was doing. And so the universe literally had to shove me out of that relationship. And I had to stand up for myself like I never have before. Had to do the whole emergency protective order and everything. So trust me when I say, I've had experience. I understand the cycle of abuse and being the victim in abuse, which I hate that term. I hate the term victim. And I think it's quite beautiful and ironic Ironic that the first card that popped out here is Strength. Because you know what this tells me? It tells me, scratch that word victim out right now. You know, the legal system and everything likes to refer to you as the victim in the case and whatnot. But Strength here is saying, no, you're the survivor. You're the strong-hearted conqueror. You're the winner. And so I'm going to pull a couple more cards here. There's another quote I want to share with you guys. And that is often, well, I say it's a quote. It's a quote I had to kind of patch together myself because I wasn't sure exactly what the original one said because I couldn't find it. So here it is. It's often when things get harder in your life, it's because you're leveling up. Okay, and leveling up requires lessons. Leveling up requires lessons. Whoop! Oh, wow. Next card out, the Star. Powerful major arcana here. Requires lessons. Okay, the Star is Uranian energy. Unexpected surprises. Manifesting. Popping up. Leveling up, this kind of success, your dreams, wishes, ambitions, hopes for the relationships, that kind of dreamy, beautiful love that you want showing up and manifesting, it requires homework. It requires looking at the depths, you know, the pool of depths here of sorrows, of hurt, of pain, of rejection, of the abuse, all of it, looking at that, acknowledging and honoring the lesson that it taught you, and then creating something beautiful out of it, like she is in this photo. You know, having the strength to move through it all. There's a message here saying, you may not have felt strong in the situation at the time when you were undergoing abuse. You may have felt entirely, completely, and utterly weak. I know I did. Anytime. You know, whether it was watching my mom growing up and going through those cases of abuse growing up, or this one that I had a few months ago with someone I was dating, I felt weak. I felt powerless. But being strong is facing those trials, facing the hurt, facing the pain, facing the fear, even though you're scared, even though you're hurting, and doing something about it. That is true strength. That is true heart. That is true fierceness. That is the lion heart. And then through that comes the healing too. The Star is also coming across very healing here for us. You can manifest and heal from this. With that lion heart, with that strength of heart. I think it's important for us to acknowledge that we may have just felt that vulnerability and weakness while trying to be strong, while trying to put on that show of strength. But guess what? It wasn't just all a show of strength. It wasn't just all a show of strength. You did show strength. You did show up when it was hard, when it seemed like you were completely alone and everything was just crashing down around you. You did show up. You did stand up for yourself. You know, for any of you, those who are watching, maybe you didn't do like what I did and get a emergency restraining order or file a police report. Maybe you kept it hush hush. I know some abuse victims who, that's how they react. They feel like nothing will really get done about it. I know, I understand. But no, the fact that you still went through that you're still here today, that you are who you are today, that you wake up every morning, that you have cut off that other person, that you are cut off from that abusive situation, that is alone success and victory over this abuse, over the abuse of the situation. You are still coming out strong and victorious. You faced it. You created distance where you needed to. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself some self-love now. And understand the lesson. Acknowledge that lesson that it taught you. Okay, last card, Seven of Cups. Several lessons here popping up. It might be some subconscious things that you want to pay attention to that are popping up in your dreams. When you journal, when you meditate. Those shadowy things. You know, acknowledge how those are transpiring. But don't judge yourself for feeling some of these things. Don't judge yourself for seeing some of these images. Maybe for wishing certain outcomes. Wishing that things happen differently in your case of abuse. Don't judge yourself, but acknowledge it. Let yourself feel it. Let yourself write it down. And then just let it go. You know, rip it up, bury it in the ground, or burn it after you're done putting it on paper. Acknowledge that it's done. And really, one more quote that I found that was so powerful before I decided to just randomly do this video is, forgive yourself for not knowing what you didn't know before you learned it. Okay, so sometimes we have to go through these really difficult cases. And sometimes cases of abuse like this, where we have to learn it the hard way. We have to learn to recognize the red flags the hard way. That we have to be jolted out of a toxic relationship the hard way. But understand that it's for your highest good. And that you are an overcomer. You're not just a victim of abuse. You're overcoming all of these shadows, all of these fears and things that are just haunting. All of the various lessons here. What I'm getting to with the star being at the center here of this 3-card pick is that you are being set up with this hard trial and lesson, abuse that you've gone through. This kind of lesson, this kind of trial and hardship that you've had to go through with this is setting you up for this kind of success with the Star. The Star is seeing those big visions, dreams and goals coming into fruition, happening. You are strong enough to complete your vision, to complete your passion, your dream, strong enough to do it because you've been through the hard stuff. You've learned the hard lessons. You know now what signs to look out for, who you can trust letting into your circle. Okay. And you know, the 7 of Cups is all about that dreamy kind of space too, sitting right next to the Star. Yeah. The storm before the calm, right? The storm before the rainbow. That's what this is. All right, so let's go ahead and get an oracle message for guidance right now in healing from this. And I'm going to get a couple, but let's start with one. All right, so it's breaking trail. A breakthrough is at hand. So I'm getting, for those of you who might currently be facing wrapping up abuse, an abusive relationship, an abuse case, that breakthrough is at hand for you. That healing, that turn of events is at hand for you, is at your disposal. You can be brave enough and strong enough to turn around, to stand up for yourself, to make a firm decision. And I'm getting with breaking trail too, it's about breaking old habits. It's also about leaving those old habits, bad habits behind. You know, some bad habits that may have been attracting the abuser to you in the first place. And I don't mean that to sound harsh. I did it. And whenever I say that, I mean like putting up with it. You know, because you want to see the other person healed. You want them to get better. And so you put up with it. Being a little bit of an enabler. You know, so if that's you, it's time to break that habit. Break trail. Break off from that path. Try a different one. That's the message there. And the breakthrough is at hand, especially whenever you do that. Wow. You'll see like this amazing difference in your life of who you're inviting in, you know, more better, more positive relationships you're inviting in, experiences you're inviting in when you make this breakthrough move. Okay. Next. Wondrous Universe Walk in Beauty. All right. I'm getting, with Wondrous Universe Walk in Beauty, It's about having faith in your own strength, in your spirit guides, to direct you through this and out of this, and that you being strong, standing tall, trusting spirit through this, that wonderful, beautiful things are going to emerge through this. Remember one of those first quotes we talked about in the beginning of this video here about leveling up? Having to go through hardship means often that you're leveling up in life. This is the leveling up. And you're experiencing the miracles and wonder that can come whenever you pass this trial, pass this test, pass this hardship. The amazing opportunities and things that show up for you when you do that. I feel the need to go ahead and get one more guiding energy for all of us, for all victims of abuse. You know, essential theme of advice and guidance here for you and healing from this trauma. Here we go. Okay, I feel like it's this top one. Distant thunder. Clear the air. Y'all, it doesn't get much more plain than this. Distant thunder, clear the air. Just as fast as the lightning hits, as the thunder rumbles, that's, you can call it quits. Just as fast as the thunder, as the lightning strike. And it's hard, it's uncomfortable when you're used to getting in abusive relationships, or you're used to seeing that pattern. You're used to relationships being homework, to being a big project. When you're used to seeing that, when you're used to experiencing that, it's hard to break out of that because it's a comfortable pattern and place that you've been in, that you've seen, that you've witnessed. But in order to clear the air, you know, it smells so fresh after it rains, right? After a big storm. And, you know, I'm getting, it's like once you do that big purge, you call it quits, you stand up for yourself, you speak out, you share your story, however it empowers you, healing and moving through the abuse. When you state your truth and you give your thunderous roar like this lion, and you are strong enough to speak up and stand up for yourself, and you say no more, you put an end to those bad habits, you know, and accepting those low vibration relationships and abusive relationships, when you stop accepting them, whenever you clear the air like it says in this oracle card, you get that rejuvenating, fresh, new perspective. Like after it rains, when you walk outside and it's just that fresh, beautiful smelling air where it just feels cleansed and clear. That is the feeling and the sense that you get, that I'm getting for us. But, you know, you may think that the abuser has power over you, that you should fear them. No. No, especially with this card. You know what this is telling me? In addition, they should fear you. Your thunderous roar. You get the roar with the Leo card, and with the Star card, with the Uranian card, you get electricity. Boom. No. You are empowered. You are healed. You are strong. You can use your voice, can use your story, can use your own personal and even physical strength to conquer this. They should fear you, if anything. You're not in the wrong. And don't let anyone else shame you going through this experience. There's occasionally those little shamers out there. Don't let anyone shame you. So yeah, woo! Powerful, heavy stuff though. Clear the air. Cut it out. Cut it off. Cut off communication. Cut off the connection. Miracles, dreams fulfilled happen when you do this. Beautiful. Just remember too, you are strong. And you gain more strength and wisdom going through and facing this situation. So to all of you abuse survivors and conquerors out there, pat yourself on the back. Congratulations. I hope that you use these messages to empower yourself, that you use it in the most enlightening way. I'm sure you will. This is beautiful. This is awesome. You are worthy. You are so worthy. You are so worthy of this kind of compassion and love, not the abuse. And it starts with giving it to yourself, standing up for yourself, showing yourself how much you love you, and then that vibration attracting others. The right people to you. So, thank you for joining me in this tarot therapy video for all of you abuse survivors out there. You know, drop a comment below, share your story, share your thoughts. You know, let's create a little supportive community here for each other. So, I love what has come through here for us. I hope that y'all have a fantastic next few weeks. And if you do want to get in touch with me or do a personal one-on-one reading with me, of course, Etsy shop, my email, all of that information is below in the descriptions box. And I will see y'all very soon in the next video, which, by the way, if you haven't noticed already, I'm doing a new series called Lion Light Laughs. So I'm doing a comedic series with all the zodiac signs because I just feel like incorporating more laughter and comedy and funny and silly into my world, into your world, because we don't have enough of it. So, you know, check that out if you haven't yet as well. Take care. I will see you in the next video.